The Journey to Enlightenment, a story of transformation and hope. "You know, Dave, I've been thinking," Janice said, twirling a lock of her blonde hair around her finger. "Life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get." Dave looked up from his newspaper, his eyes peering over the rim of his glasses. "What's got you spouting Forrest Gump quotes?" "I'm just saying, we're going through the motions, aren't we? Work, eat, sleep, repeat. There's got to be more to it than this." Dave sighed, folding the newspaper and placing it on the coffee table. "You're not wrong, Jan, but what else is there?" In the silence that followed, Janice felt an awakening, a small but undeniable whisper that there was a different way to live. "I don't know," she said, her voice tinged with a mix of hope and determination, "but I think I'm going to find out." The very next morning, the city hummed with its usual buzz, but something had shifted within Janice. It wasn't just another day. It was the dawn of a new beginning. Determined to break free from the mundane, she decided to begin her journey to discover harmony with herself and the world. She started small by decluttering her physical space. Old clothes were bagged and donated, neglected books found new homes, and that dreaded junk drawer was emptied. With every item she released, Janice felt lighter, as if she were peeling away layers of a life that no longer served her. These small victories of simplicity brought unexpected joy. Perhaps, she thought, letting go is the first step to clarity. Janice's next step was to re-examine her relationship with food. Learning about the environmental impacts of animal farming and the cruelty in industrial practices, she decided to adopt an organic, plant-based diet. "What's this new obsession?" Dave asked one evening, raising his eyebrow as Janice nibbled on roasted vegetables, the scent of candles and incense filling the air around her. She smiled gently. "I'm trying to connect with myself, Dave, to understand who I am and how I fit into something bigger." While Dave remained unconvinced, Janice's transformation had only just begun. As she noticed her body feeling more energized and her mind clearer, she also grew attuned to the greater ripple effects her choices were having, not just on her, but on the world. Janice began waking up early before the bustling city came alive. For the first time in years, she allowed herself to soak in the simple beauty of the morning. Each dawn became a sacred moment, a quiet pocket of stillness. Meditation entered her routine, grounding her and connecting her to the deeper rhythms of life. Have you ever noticed the harmony that exists even in chaos? The birds chirped, the leaves in the trees swayed, and even the distant hum of traffic fit into an oddly calming symphony. Janice began to see it all differently. It was as though the universe was speaking to her through these subtle miracles. One seemingly ordinary afternoon, her curiosity drew her into a small bookstore tucked in the shadows of towering office buildings. The scent of old books and warm incense enveloped her like a welcoming hug. "Can I help you find something?" asked the owner, a wise-looking woman whose smile carried a serene knowingness. "I'm looking for something to help me raise my consciousness," Janice replied, her voice brimming with hope. The woman led her to a shelf brimming with books on meditation, philosophy, and sustainable living. "Begin here," she said wisely, "but remember, the path to enlightenment is more about what you do than what you read." The words struck a chord with Janice. She left with arms full of books and a heart eager to explore the depths of these teachings. As days turned into weeks, Janice devoured ideas from ancient philosophies and modern mindfulness gurus. With every lesson, her understanding of the world and her place within it expanded. Recognizing the disconnect between her soul and her corporate job, Janice made the bold decision to leave it behind. Instead, she began working at an organic garden. Planting seeds, nurturing them, and watching them grow became not just a job, but a metaphor for her own personal growth. Have you ever dug your hands into soil and felt an immediate connection to the earth? That's how it felt for Janice, grounding, healing, and invigorating. Though Janice's path was thriving, her relationship with Dave grew strained. While he supported her in his own way, their worlds grew farther apart. The small talk that once filled their evenings now felt hollow. "I love you, John," Dave said softly one evening, "but I can't keep up with all this change. You're growing in ways I don't understand." Tears welled in her eyes. She nodded, realizing that sometimes growth requires letting go of what no longer aligns. The next day, when Janice packed her bags, it was one of the hardest yet bravest choices she'd made. Janice's search for deeper truth brought her to a serene retreat nestled in the mountains. There, surrounded by nature, she was introduced to a community of seekers like herself. Have you ever felt completely at home among strangers? That's how Janice felt as they shared stories, broke bread together, and discussed the vast mysteries of life. In those mountains, the silence spoke volumes. Long hours of yoga, meditation, and reflective discussion began dissolving the barriers within Janice's mind. One morning, during meditation, a moment of clarity washed over her. When Janice returned to the city, she was a changed woman. The once bewildering chaos now felt rich with potential. She started a blog to chronicle her experiences, hoping to inspire others who felt stuck in their routines. Her words resonated. While some skeptics dismissed her ideas, many others found hope and guidance in her message. Each comment and shared post ignited in Janice a greater sense of purpose. Janice's drive extended beyond her blog. With the help of a new friend, Mark, another soul on a quest for meaning, they started a community garden in an abandoned lot. The work was labor-intense, but the transformation was astounding. With each emerging sprout, Janice saw the potential for a unified, sustainable world. The garden wasn't just about food. It became a haven of togetherness, where neighbors bonded, children played freely, and even birds chirped their approval. This oasis in the city inspired further action. Cleanup drives, farmers markets, and tree planting initiatives soon brought together people with diverse experiences but shared hopes for a better future. One day, Janice received a life-changing message from the bookstore owner. Her blog had caught global attention, and she was invited to a summit on conscious living. At the summit, Janice met visionaries, thought leaders, and change-makers from all over the world. They celebrated their collective mission to awaken humanity's responsibility toward itself and the planet. As Janice stood on stage to share her story, she felt the culmination of her journey come alive. Returning home, Janice realized that her story was far from over. Her blog expanded into workshops, bringing the principles of mindfulness, sustainability, and collective awakening to an even broader audience. The seeds she planted, both literally and metaphorically, were blossoming. The sense of fulfillment and connection she once yearned for was no longer elusive. Her journey wasn't just a quest for her own enlightenment. It had become a beacon of hope for others, proving that every small action, when carried with intention, can ripple into collective healing. Janice smiled as she stood in her flourishing community garden, watching children's laughter mingle with the songs of birds and the sway of flowers in the breeze. Her heart was light, her purpose clear, to cultivate a life and a world rooted in love, intention, and unity. And so she continued, not as someone who had all the answers, but as a seeker, taking one purposeful step at a time. The beauty of the journey wasn't the destination, it was the transformation along the way.